Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the Week Ahead report. It's Monday, August the 16th. The current time is 7:38 and obviously a week ahead. So before we get into what numbers we got out this week and what could do a little bit of moving and shaking, let's just have a recap of what happened on Friday night. Okay, the Dow was down 16 points at 10,303. The S&P was down 4.36 at 1,079, and the Nasdaq was off 16 at 2,173. Over to Europe, the Stoic was down 12, the FTSE was up 9, the CAC was down 10, and the DAX was down 24. Pretty quiet on that front. And in Australia, our market looks like it's down 50 at 4,380. I think it's a little bit of an aberration on that, but anyway, let's see how it unfolds. Obviously, quite a fall on the SPI futures, but let's see how that all unfolds during the day. Perhaps it's just a little bit overdone on that front. Okay, well, let's have a look at obviously some of the news that we had out on Friday. Were covered in the morning debrief of Saturday morning. So let's get into just having a look at the normal things we look at. And let's just look at some, particularly the dollar index is always one which is important, particularly as we kick off the week. There we go. Now, we've had this theme that US dollar in itself could continue to trade higher. So let's run with that with a little bit, and it has been quite accurate. So I've been quite comfortable with that, the fact that we could see this dollar higher, and in fact that has occurred. That hourly chart still remains encouraging for me, and as you can see there, we're seeing that dollar up a little bit. When we look at it against the euro and also the Aussie, you can see 89.22 for that Aussie, but that's that trend. We picked that there quite nicely. I still expect a little bit more to go, so I'm quite happy for that US dollar to continue to trade higher. Having a look at crude, you would expect this to occur. US dollar goes up, crude goes down. Now, it is only really the crude market that's actually doing that. We've broken that trend there, and as we mentioned, that particularly on CNBC and also Sky, that we could actually see this fall right back to that US $70. So keep an eye on that little one. We have broken that trend, and momentum indicators here still look quite weak. So maybe the next couple of days just go sideways to lower. Having a look at copper now on the daily. Now, this is a little bit interesting because we have got concerns about those builds continuing and the fact that the US economy looks to be slowing down. Now, that's okay, and on the back of that, we're seeing copper come off a little bit, but remember this area here, it's still quite well supportive, and we broke up. Well, let's see what happens, but the initial knee-jerk reaction is for some of these commodities to continue to come under pressure. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But as you can see, copper, crude under pressure, copper coming under pressure, US dollar going up. Gold is a different kettle of fish. Gold's actually holding up quite nicely. And if we can take out this resistance here, now this resistance here is the key one. That high we had there is around that 12.17. So if it can take out that level, then probably expect it to trade higher. And continue to trade even back up to that 12.50 area. We did have a target of 12.20, and we're coming close to that area, and we've come close to it a couple of times already, particularly with that high we had on Friday, which was that 12.17 again. Okay, so that's gold, that's it, that's a SPI. Let's have a look at some of these softs. Obviously, there's been a terrific move there. We've been focusing on corn and soya, all looking quite good, and actually look like that to continue. Let's have a look at that wheat chart. Watch this though when I do this. As you can see, a lot more news, a lot more information there, and if we take out that 417 area, then it's a whole new ball game. Also on the soybeans, we've been quite bullish soybeans over time, and as a result of that, onwards and upwards there for the soybean chart. And soybeans have been well, particularly with the weather we've got in China at the moment. A little bit of a worry there, but this all bodes very well for soybeans in my mind. To start to move higher. Stops can be put in there around quite easily on those lows there. Okay, wheat, just having a look at the wheat chart. Obviously with what's happening in wheat across the board, it has been a bit of a major one, and that's been the move there. My personal view is that she comes lower. I have already said I don't think we'll see a new high this year, and I'm quite happy to live by that, unless something major happens, but at the moment it doesn't seem to be that. Okay, having a look at the SPI now. I'll have a look at some of those equities, what we're thinking there, and then we'll get onto some of that data because obviously that's quite important. Just having a look at that. Come on, SPY. There we are. I'm not giving us much clue here at all, but momentum's certainly on the downside still. I think in my mind the key will be a break through this old low here. If we get that break below that low here, which is just here now, obviously 4,200 is a key one here, but that low there, which we had, 43.10, would be a worry for me, okay, because then I think things will start to go lower than that. So just keep close to that. Okay, so we've mentioned a couple of markets, what we're talking about. Let's have a look at the economic calendar for the week. Basically, the most important ones, I guess we go through Monday, particularly in Australia. We've got motor vehicle registrations. Obviously, that's a little bit of a leading indicator as to how people see the economy actually moving. Here they're coming up now. We've got Conference Board China lead index, which I think will be very important. We want to see a little bit of an uptick there, and we still feel that that would be the case. We've got Eurozone CPI in, or CPI in the Eurozone, so that I think is pretty important. Also ticks in America. That's for Monday, that's tonight. Tuesday, a lot of data, CPI in the UK and RPI, PPI, all quite important in terms of that inflation. Just to confirm that it's relatively benign, that's all we need. We did see an uptick in inflation in the States, so we could expect that to be the same there. In the US, we've got PPI, so we'll be following closely to that. PPI, producer prices, housing starts and building permits. Also in IP and capacity utilisation, we want to see an uptick there as to what's occurring. Thursday, we've got Westpac leading index in Australia, leading index in Japan, all quite important there. And really not a lot in that. We've obviously got the data, the energy data in America, but not a lot there. Let's just go Thursday. We've got average weekly times there. The ANZ consumer confidence will be out. A lot of retail sales in the UK. Obviously, initial jobless claims and leading indicators, they're going to be widely watched, particularly those initial jobless claims, because that's where people are focusing on in terms of any form of recession. Well, we're not pulling out of the recession. So I'd be keeping a close focus on those. And on Friday, just CPI there. So that's really about it on that front. So we're in Canada. So really not a lot. So that's about it from us today. And for the week, it's going to be quite a good week, quite volatile. It should be quite a bit on, actually. So stick to some of those trends that we've already mentioned. Remember to put your stops in at the moment. But I think that trend is still intact, particularly for the US dollar. And also that tax for people starting to feel things aren't as strong as what they should be. So that's about it from me. Hope you have a great week, and we'll certainly talk to you during the week.